Hello again. In the United States, many people are heard complaining about our Constitution. They say things like the president can initiate a war without a declaration, irrelevant legislation that can't stand on its own becomes law because it is tacked on to defense spending bills that congressional representatives dare not vote against. And the president has no line item veto. In fact, the entire legislative process is hampered because one party controls the White House and sort of the Senate, while another party maybe controls the House. There are no other major parties because congressional seats are awarded on a winner-take-all basis rather than by proportional representation. And we are one party away from being a one-party state, etc. The call is always the same, though. They're always asking for a new constitution. But would that resolve any of this dysfunction? Let's explore this a bit because it is an issue that affects all of us. Okay. So let's look at how the Constitution came into being, what it is supposed to do, and try to determine if it works or if it needs an overhaul. Okay? Our Constitution is a statement of America's fundamental laws. It contains 7 articles and 26 amendments, and it has been in effect since its adoption in 1789. On May 25, 1787, a group of men gathered at the home of Robert Morris in Pennsylvania in order to draft a constitution that was requested by the Constitutional Congress. 74 delegates were appointed to the convention. 55 actually went. Rhode Island was the only state that refused to send anybody. The sessions of the convention were held in secret. There were no reporters, no visitors, and it took the delegates 116 days to complete the work through many revisions. That was September 17th, 1787. So, now we know how it came to be written. Let's look at what it is supposed to do and see if it works. Okay, our Constitution provides the basic laws of our government. It defines what the government is, describes how it is organized, and how the people who make it up, our presidents, senators, congressmen, etc., are to be chosen, and specifies the powers that they can and cannot exercise. Additionally, the Constitution, which was completed after the Declaration of Independence, contains a group of special freedoms called the Bill of Rights. These special freedoms were enshrined in the Constitution by the founders of the country in order that they always form a backbone of liberty for America's citizens. They include, of course, all the ones we know, the freedom of speech, right to keep and bear arms, all of them, okay? Since its drafting, the Constitution has been amended 26 times. And this, I think, is what's really special about the Constitution, is that it's set up so that if it needs to be changed, it can be. And it has been over and over again and can be again in the future. It's changed as necessary as our needs as a nation have changed. So it seems to me that the Constitution does work and doesn't really need to be rewritten. But let's review. Okay, due to the framers' understanding that they could not possibly know what would happen in the years, decades, or centuries that would follow, and their good sense and ability, we have a Constitution that we can reliably and peacefully turn to for guidance. Any flaws in the Constitution are a result of compromises that were necessary to establish and keep our government workable, and there are some, yeah. There are also practical problems posed by applying our Constitution to modern American life, but these are small compared with the monstrosity that would likely emerge from a new constitutional convention circa 2012. Just imagine the delegates financed by the vegan lobby clashing with those financed by the meat lobby, not to mention the several other 1,000 divisive voices that we have in the American public. Our Constitution has endured for 225 years. It was written by human beings who, by definition, are imperfect. However, it has protected our democracy through all sorts of crises, political, economic, social, and military. So I'm saying, leave the Constitution alone. The gridlock in Washington will not last forever, but with the Constitution, our freedom will. Thank you.